슈거 다람살라리아 아메리카기 저조 오메기 체도 구접 소중 대 샵소코 요래 아니 구접 소중 틴데리리 고주 슈베 갑라 다오 망보 고르기 요래 나라 트랜스 쉐비나 니돈 춥준 기치는 가베 나냐 아니 잠구 낸시 벨로시기 갑티두 저조 오메기 초조인베 갑라 아니 체도 구접 소중 덴데 유튜브 중요하래 다 트위터에 진이 단답아도 아메리카기 최적 원에 구접 소중 거터네 아니 집이나야디 니돈 춥드네 진이 다 단답아도 시베이나 로드식 독신 차들이 요래 이제 안타리 폰나무스데 패배야 대야 아니 아리 최저 나눠려야 침자르식 벽에 간요시야기 침자르다 디단 제니 저조 오메나리아 슈경에 조디 다른데 구접 소중기 고티 아니 저조 오메 친데 소중기 소조 마이클 맥콜 크란차기 요리 마이클 맥콜 크란 차샤기나 다른 팀자디단 대회 토네 아니 지든 소배기 친데 소중기 소조인 배차네 팀자디기 신디디 짐 마가문다 컨소스연 아무래데 이네 코나랑게 투게 셰체 저조 오메나로리아 아니 팀자 되나야기 겐셰니 다 단답아도 저조 오메기 친데 소중당 아니 저조 오메기 현조 나노리아 텐투버 중앙에 디 마이클 맥콜다 짐 마가본 안타나 신체니 아니 그레거리 믹스 다른데 구접 소중 나나 페야 태양 미네의 강양직 고티 네의 샤다지 페요레 아니 마이클 맥콜 크란 저조 오메기 소중 소소이 메차네 고티지다 아니 저조 오메기 친데 소중 나로라 망주 소베기 고티디 아니 그레거리 믹스 차기요레 군인이 대 페체 페야되기 천된되기 간다 저조 오메 나로라 아니 소관 이게 근거네 야bio 연백이 나바데 숙청 주시던 거요레 Thank you very much samloge any 차 전부시 다루나 콘도 투시에 쉬어야지 타마 쉬어야지 아리 신진기 팀자들라 센다 가두견바이네 다 산이나니 시행가 가두견거 요바이네 디니무디 오늘 전에 안서 베베지도 가와이 요바이네 가도 체요 외베기 내단지 차기 요레 신디 쉬어야 좋지
Thank you all for your very warm welcome. Everyone I've spoken has said what an honor it is for us to be on this visit, to have the privilege of meeting with His Holiness the Dalai Lama earlier today. Yes, it is an honor, but for us it is truly a blessing. It is a blessing to see all of you, to say thank you to you. It has been said earlier that you're saying thank you to us, but we're saying thank you to you. Because you heard our colleagues talk about this legislation that was passed last week. We have been fighting this fight, all of us, for a long time. And with the spirituality of His Holiness, with the maneuvering inside the Congress, we've made progress. But it's different now with the passage of this bill, because this bill is a message to the Chinese government that we have clarity in our thinking and our understanding of this issue of the freedom of Tibet.
For the Dalai Lama knows that this is not true, that Tibet is part of China. And the people of Tibet know that that is not true. And the United States of America knows that that is not true. But it is still my hope that one day the Dalai Lama and his people will return to their home in Tibet in peace.
All of us, every single one of us, are deeply concerned by Beijing's growing campaign of repression against Tibetans in the PRC. We know that Beijing is separating Tibetan children like the children that's before us, from their families through its state-run boarding schools. We know that Beijing is forcibly relocating entire communities under the guise of economic development. We know that it is targeting and imprisoning hundreds of Tibetan activists, writers, artists, teachers, and clergy for simply exercising their fundamental freedoms. And we know that it is trying to co-opt and control Tibetan Buddhism, even as it restricts freedom of religion across the Tibet Autonomous Region and other Tibetan areas. So we are all here to call on the government of Beijing to immediately stop its countless abuses of the Tibetan human rights. It is time for Beijing to re-engage in dialogue without preconditions with His Holiness and his representatives to reach a negotiated resolution that leads to meaningful autonomy for the Tibetan people. And so I'm here as the ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. I'm here with a bipartisan delegation to let you all know that in the United States Congress, we are together and we are paying attention, and our support for Tibetan people is unwavering.
But it is a pleasure to be here today and to have begun this day with an audience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama this morning. It was powerful, it was moving, it was inspiring. He is incredible. We need him. The world needs him. Just last week, as you have heard, Congress passed a major bipartisan bill authored by myself and Chairman McCall and supporting by every single member of our delegation. It was to reaffirm America's support for Tibetan self-determination and to require the United States State Department to counter false information about Tibet. False information like the PRC claim that Tibet has been part of China since ancient times. That is ridiculous. It is historically inaccurate, and we must correct the record. China will never succeed in erasing Tibetan culture, Tibetan language, Tibetan religion, and Tibetan democracy, and everything Tibetan. We will have your back.
I want to take this opportunity to thank the government of India and the people of India for supporting us during these last 65 years. I want to reiterate the fact that if it is not for the government of India and people of India, we would not be where we are today.